The ocean's vast, mysterious depths are full of enigmatic oddities that have never seen the light of day. While few would deny that the seas are teeming with as yet undiscovered life forms, most would be reluctant to admit that there are any truly gargantuan species waiting to be found in the fathomless deep. Nevertheless, it would seem that the inscrutable Ningen is just such a creature. Welcome back. Today I will be investigating the enigmatic case of the Ningen. Over the past few years, rumors have circulated in Japan about the existence of Arctic humanoid life forms inhabiting the icy waters of the Antarctic. The so-called Ningen, which translates to human in Japanese, is said to be completely white with an estimated length of 60 to 90 feet. The Ningen has reportedly been observed on multiple occasions by crew members of government-operated whale research ships. Eyewitnesses describe them as having a human-like shape, often with legs, arms, and even 5-fingered hands. Sometimes, they are described as having fins or a large mermaid-like tail instead of legs, or even tentacles. Many observers have also reported that these animals have no distinct facial features save for 2 huge eyes and a mouth-like slit. According to most accounts, these creatures are primarily nocturnal and tend to thrive in frigid, Arctic waters. Initial reports of these marine animals were said to have emanated from the tail end of the 20th century. This is strange considering how many centuries mariners have been traversing the world's seas with nary a mention of these bizarre and purportedly gigantic beasts. However, before we try and figure out what these things actually are, let's take a look at what little history we have regarding these captivating creatures. It's unclear when the Ningen was first sighted, but the most popular version of it appears to originate with a post on a 2chan thread. The individual posting claimed to have been working on a government whale research vessel when one of these creatures rose from the depths. According to the account, the anonymous crew member, along with fellow researchers, scrambled up onto the deck to catch a glimpse of what they initially thought was a foreign submarine, floating on the horizon. However, as the research vessel approached the object, it became evident that they were not dealing with a machine-tooled structure, but a living, breathing behemoth. The crew stared in awe at this biological anomaly until it submerged moments later. There are persistent rumors that suggest that members of this research team managed to snap a series of extraordinary photos of the object during the brief encounter. However, these images were allegedly suppressed to spare the government-funded research team the shame and financial ruin of being associated with this unusual event. The 2chan thread gained a lot of popularity, which only increased when Mew, a Japanese magazine focusing on the paranormal, featured an article on the Ningen in a 2007 issue. The author of the piece speculated that these as yet unidentified creatures were likely indigenous to the icy waters of the southern oceans. Mew even displayed a Google Maps image of what was supposedly a Ningen swimming in the South Atlantic off the coast of Namibia. Soon after the article was published, a mini-deluge of accounts, photos and grainy video footage flooded the web, but most agree that these unverified reports and images constitute little in the way of real evidence. The Japanese government is believed to have kept detailed records of the sightings, but they have released no information to the public and have reportedly instructed eyewitnesses to remain silent. Ningen sightings seem to occur most frequently at night, making them all the more difficult to photograph. In still images, the sea cryptids mostly just look like ice, though it is said that their smooth, human-like skin can be seen when the photographs are enlarged. In any case, no convincing photographs have been made public. either because they do not exist or because, as some argue, the government does not want to invite undue scrutiny and tarnish the scientific reputation of the whale research program. Could the Ningen be yet another chapter in the long lineage of governmental cover-ups? Whether or not these titanic beasts are being concealed by the Japanese authorities, one big question remains. What could they be? Odds are overwhelming that the relatively new legend of the Ningen is an outright fabrication, but, for the sake of argument, let's allow for the possibility that these may be genuine creatures. One of the more popular theories regarding the identity of these creatures is that they might be an unclassified species of giant albino ray. I suppose that it is not entirely beyond the realm of possibility that an odd species of huge, ray-like fish might be camouflaged to blend in with the floating icebergs and other frozen debris that inhabit its frigid home. However, it's difficult to believe that a beast so bulky could remain unidentified, much less unseen, until the precipice of the 21st century. Other potentially plausible giant fish theories vary wildly, such as a species of aquatic or semi-aquatic animal, which likely evolved from large-sized carnivore animals such as leopards, seals, or killer whales. Another theory suggests a descendant species of Aquilolamna milici. These are a recently discovered species of shark, convergently evolved to a manta ray-esque form, that could resemble a quasi-humanoid entity underwater. Other theories suggest misidentified whales, sharks, or squids. An aquatic sloth, perhaps an evolutionary descendant of Thalassoscius. A misidentified iceberg. Or an undiscovered subspecies of beluga. But if it turns out that we're not dealing with giant fish, then maybe it's something distinctly more supernatural, such as water demons. From the turtle-shelled primate known as the kappa to the pachyderm-like baku, Japanese folklore is chock full of amazing creatures that fall under the heading of yokai. The yokai are a class of mystical creatures, many of which bear animal-like features. Perhaps this predominantly Japanese phenomenon is not so much a cryptozoological mystery as it is a paranormal one. It's worth considering the fact that every report I've come across regarding Ningen are Japanese in origin. This might suggest that Ningen are some sort of supernatural yokai-like entity that is, for reasons beyond my comprehension, choosing to show itself exclusively to the seafarers of Japan. Who knows? Arguably, stranger things have happened. Okay, let's abandon the paranormal for a moment and head over to the space. Assuming they did not evolve on Earth, then maybe we should consider the possibility that they are simply aliens, of course. This may be a stretch, but it is conceivable that the reason nobody claimed to see Ningen, until the 1990s, is because they never existed on Earth before then. Perhaps these Ningen, either by their own design or through an inadvertent UFO crash, represent a foreign species that has accidentally or intentionally invaded our ecosystem. I'll grant the premise is thin, but the concept is nonetheless intriguing. And there's always the possibility that it's a hoax. While there's nothing to prove that Ningen are a hoax, most of the photo evidence is either hoaxed or artistic interpretations. Be they real, prank, or the subject of a vast global conspiracy, Ningen continue to be an intriguing enigma, and until a carcass washes ashore on some isolated beach or is found frozen in an Arctic glacier, that's likely how they will likely remain. Please leave your comments below and let me know what you think. Until next time.